So as you can see, we already have the motherboard installed, and now we're going to put in the power supply. Now this isn't the power supply I'm going to be using, but it's all I have right now, so let's go ahead and put it in. So you can see the little place, the spot it goes down there, it's a bottom mount PSU, and it's got little rubber pads that it actually sits on to reduce vibration, so let's just kind of sit that in there and then move around to the back to actually screw it in. Okay, so I got to put in 4 screws. You can see where I'm putting them there, and that's it. And it'll hold it in there good. And there's no like rubber on where the screws go or anything. So we just managed to get them nice and tight. And there goes in the last one. And yep, shouldn't have any problems with vibration in there. Okay, well you can see we have a big mess of wires, but that little shield right there is where you're supposed to put them all under. So I'm actually going to be doing that and just hiding them all down there and routing them up through the back of the case to wherever I need to plug them in. So let's go ahead and move on to some of the connecting. So you can see there, got the 24 pin or 20 plus 4 pin power adapter, and we're going to route that around through the back and just right through that little rubber grommet there, and then we can connect it to the actual motherboard. Okay, so let's go ahead and just plug that in. You can see it coming from the right side, and it looks pretty good. No big mass of wires. Okay, so let's just connect this 4-pin 12-volt wire up to the top of the motherboard, but it doesn't reach that well, so it would just be going across the front of the motherboard. I don't want that, so what I have here is this 8-pin to 2 4-pin connectors here. But actually what I'm going to do is connect my 4-pin coming from the power supply to the side that, you know, it divides into the 2 4-pins on the other end. So what you do is I'm using it as an extension. So you just put it in like that, and then I'm going to tape them together, which you don't see. But yep, it just turns into an extension for another 4-pin, and it works really well. And now we are just going to plug it in from the top where you will see me see where I've routed it in a minute. Just plug that in, and you can see that looks a lot better than having a cable running all the way across from the bottom of the case up to the top. Now you can see this big mass of cables here, and this is coming from the front panel, so we're gonna go ahead and just connect these to the motherboard. Now here's a SATA cable, because on the front there is an eSATA port, so you can plug in hard drives from there. Now the next thing is a USB plug for the front 2 USB 2.0 ports. Now there is USB 3.0 ports, but this motherboard does not support that, so I can't use those currently. The next thing is the audio plugs, so we're just going to go ahead and put that in. And it's for the microphone and headset for the front panel. Now we are just going to go ahead and plug in the 1394 port, or the Firewire port. So just simple, got the whole front panel connected now, except for the wires for the LEDs and the buttons, the power button and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and plug those in to the little white slot you see right beside the USB plug. So let's see, we're going to go ahead and put in the, I believe that's a power LED, I couldn't quite see it. But just pretty much hooking up everything there, the power button, reset button, and let's see, the hard drive LED and the power LED. Like I said, just go ahead and get this last couple wires in there. I believe that this is the power LED that I'm putting in now. For some reason they split the wire and made it go to I don't know, the way they set it up was pretty weird, but we're gonna go ahead and get those in there. Having a little bit of trouble because they're so small, but I do get it, so just go ahead and get that last one in there. Okay, well you can see we got all the wires plugged in and routed from the bottom slot there, because they're coming around from the top of the front panel, since that's where everything connects, and they're coming across the back side of the case, and I'm just trying to pull them through a little bit so you don't have quite as much cable as you see right there coming through. But once again, that looks a lot better than them just running in around the case and doing whatever. So It's not perfect, but it's good enough. Now here we are just connecting all the fans, and there is 3 fans that I'm connecting right now, and then the one for the side fan, but just go ahead and get this done with the 4-pin Molex connectors and the optional 3-pin where you can see the adapter coming off of them. But go ahead and get this plugged in to keep the case nice and cool. And actually I'm going to have to take all these apart later and unplug them, because I'm going to use the fan controller that I bought, which is going to be in the next video. So stay tuned for that. I got the NXT Century 2 5-fan controller, and here are those USB 3.0 plugs which I cannot use, so I'm just going to wrap them up and actually put some electrical tape around it, and then just stash them under the front cover, or under the cover that goes over the power supply. Now what you can see here is the quick swap hard drive bays. And you can see the SATA connectors and the Molex connectors right in the middle, and when you actually slide in the hard drive from the front bay, which I'll show you shortly, it actually already connects it. So I mean, you don't have to take the side of your case off and actually put in the screws and put in the hard drive from there. You'll see me do the process when I install my 640 gigabyte hard drive into the front of the case, and then I'll show you the option for, you know, taking off the side. Right now we're going to put in the video card, and I'm just going to take that, and you see the grating there, which we're going to have to take off. And it's actually the second one, because that top port is not for video cards, it's a sound card, which I would put there if I had one. But just put the video card in place, and then I'm going to put the screw back on there just to hold it more soundly there, so it's not all there's not much movement with the video card, because we definitely don't want that. Now it is a thumb screw, but I'm going to use a screwdriver for it because I'm having a little bit of trouble, and I would also like to make sure it's in there tightly. And yeah, nice job there. I just dropped it, but I assume I could have cut that part out. Too late. Not meant to be professional here, it's YouTube. Yep, we'll get that nice and secured, and that'll be it for the video card. And I will be getting a new one soon. I am getting a GeForce 570 Fermi video card. I'm going to get 2 of them eventually for SLI. But here we are, putting in these disk drive in. I was thinking about doing it in the very top bay, but actually I'm going to do it in the second one, because in the top I'm putting the fan controller, which, like I said, will be in the next video. So you see me here mess up, I replace that, then, you know, go to pull out the second one. But there's the disk drive. We'll go ahead and pull that out, and then press the button, because the button on the side there, on the inside of the case, you can see that locks it in place. You just press it, and it is now locked. No screws required, but you can put screws in on the other side. And here we are, just going to connect the back with the power connector and the data connector, the data SATA. So it's not that difficult. I got these snap-in plugs so they hold it in place. We'll get the power there, and remember, all this is routed behind the case, but I need some longer SATA connectors because I was having some trouble with that. But now we are moving on to the hard drive, and you see I have my 640 gigabyte hard drive, and it is screwed in place into the little drawer type assembly, but it automatically plugs into the slots they have back there. So that's it. You just screw it into the little drawer, and it is now all plugged in and ready to go. Now here's my 1 terabyte hard drive, which I'm installing in with these racks, the toolless design. And in the top one, you can see there's a 2.5 bay, I believe, for the SSD drive. But here is the just standard hard drive slot. So what all you do is have a little bit of trouble, like I'm going to, snapping it in place here. But it's got little rubber feet around the toolless design pins. And yeah, like you can see, I had to speed it up because I had some trouble. But it just snaps right around the hard drive where you would put the screws, and then you can just slide it right back into the case. Now it actually wasn't really that difficult. It was my actual first time trying. But you see here, you just slide it in and then connect it from the back. So instead of just connecting it from the very middle inside of the case, it connects all from the back and makes it really easy. Now you can see the giant mess I have here, and yeah, it's not nice, but nobody's going to see it if I cover it up with the back panel. But I am going to clean it up a little bit, just very slightly, which you'll see now. And that's as good as it's going to get for me, since nobody's going to see it, and I'm switching out all these components shortly. So that's good enough. I mean, nobody's going to see them, so it doesn't really matter, and there's a little bit of room on the panel to cover all that up. But anyway, here's what it looks like, the finished product. I think it looks pretty good. I mean, it definitely could be better, but considering I'm swapping out everything later, I'm not too worried about it. So I want to thank you for watching. This is Evan from evanmods.com with my first computer build. So thanks, and guys, have a good one.